So yesterday I was talking to this fellow Mark on his boat, Coconut, and he's done 2 Golden Globe races, which is a nonstop around the world single-handed. So he offered to show us around his boat, so we're gonna go check it out. So a boat like this definitely stands out a little bit in the marina. Hey Mark, you still willing to show us around the boat?
I do.
Right on. I was just saying, it stands out in the marina a little bit. It's a little bit different than all the white catamarans and stuff.
Yeah, well, you got to be brave to have an orange boat. And,
Yeah, the bold choice.
Orange, and all I've done is continue to paint it more orange.
Yeah.
Like I've now made the decks orange.
And
the cabin top orange.
Yeah, you got a little orange in the sails too, even, don't you?
And there's a bit of orange, day glow in the sail. That's just for safety.
Right on.
So, yeah, no, it certainly stands out. It's good to stand out. No point in being inconspicuous.
No. You want to be seen out there.
Yeah, so this is Coconut.
Okay.
And it's a Lelo 34, designed in South Africa in the 1960s. This boat was built in 81. Long keel, very solid boat. Coconut's been around the world 3 times now.
Wow.
So, so she's pretty solid. Some people would say not the fastest, but I wouldn't necessarily agree with that.
Yeah.
Don't know whether that's me or the boat.
How are you in the pack of like when you did the?
Well, I did come first in Chichester class.
Okay, there you go.
In the 2018 race, there's only one person in Chichester class.
Oh.
And I took 300. I had one stop.
At least you made it, yeah.
And I took 332 days on the water, which was the slowest.
Wow, that's a long time.
That's even slower than Sir Robin. And but I always reckon that you want to be the first.
That might be a record, actually, right? For
the slowest circumnavigation. Well, I think Yachting Monthly or one of them had like 1,000 blah 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 days circumnavigation. It's because they actually counted the 3-year stop that I had in Adelaide. But that's unfair. I mean, Joshua Slocum took 4 years to sail around the world. So
yeah,
you know, what's the rush?
No rush at all.
So 332 days with one stop in the 2018 Golden Globe race.
Cool.
And winner of Chichester.
Right on. Congratulations.
The only one. Well, look. Here's what you know. Look, Sir Robin first to sail around the world in 1968. I know. Wind back. Chichester goes around the world. One stop, gets knighted. Alec Rose goes around the world. 2 stops, gets knighted. Sir Robin Knox-Johnson goes around the world, no stops, gets knighted. I go around the world 1 stop, get nothing. I mean, what's the story?
What happened? What's going on there?
There's some bloody
they got it out for you.
inflation or something going on. But yeah, there's no recognition these days. Never mind.
So what kind of stuff have you done to make the boat ready for such a adventure?
Yeah, well, basically we did a lot on the boat. Well, we put this rail around. Solid rail.
Yeah, this is so solid.
And it goes the whole way round. And the reason is I'm a little unstable on my feet. I had an accident on my bike a few years ago, and I've got a few scars to show for it. And so this gives me a nice grip.
Yeah, it's very high too compared to. I like that.
So it's solid as a rock, which is really good, and particularly around the back in the cockpit and whatever. So it's cutter rigged, both on profile furlers, which makes life nice.
Those are nice.
You'll notice set up to go around the world, the anchor goes below and the anchor chain goes below. Now I'm in cruising mode. I don't have an anchor. So I've just got a plastic box up there with some chain rope.
Oh yeah, you don't have a locker or
windlass
anything for that.
You
can last everything over.
I had to put a crash bulkhead in there, so I got rid of all this. This is all full of foam now.
Oh wow, okay.
For safety. And my chain's all cut up into 15-metre lengths. And you see these little orange bags that are strapped down the side? There's one there. There's 2 other further aft. Right, they've each got 15 metres of chain. So when I need extra chain, I just drag those up and shackle them together.
Oh, okay.
Putting it down is easy and getting it up's hard because I've got to do it.
Do it all by hand. Yeah.
So.
Oh, is this the tire? Is this your Drogue
that's
tire?
Drag.
Yeah.
So that's been
the famous tire.
And I just tow that on a warp, I've got a big swivel, a trawler swivel, because it spins and it unlays the line.
Oh, okay. So you gotta have a swivel with it.
Yeah,
okay.
so
That's
a
good
big,
to know.
big heavy swivel.
Yeah.
And it doesn't stop you, but it just slows you down a little bit.
Do you bridle it off the back or just off of one of
No,
your? Okay, just one.
Because I've got a self-steerer.
Yeah.
So you want to keep it away.
Oh, you want to keep it away from that, yeah.
So just lead it from the side that's going to lead away from the self-steerer more. So if you're being set down that way,
so the high side kind of.
Quarter from the high side.
Okay.
That's right.
Gotcha.
And to be honest with you, it doesn't really even slow you down that much. What it does is orientates your stern to the sea. That's
right.
what you want.
So the waves don't round you up
right.
so often.
You want the you don't want breaking waves on the beam. They kill you. So you either want to be hove to going into it, or stern to running. And basically, you know, I've been in bare poles towing a drogue, just with the Aries wind vane running and doing 6 knots dead downwind.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Stable. You know, in heavy seas.
Sure,
you know,
sure.
Big breaking, you know, 8-9 meter seas.
But at least you're not getting turned on your side and like
that's it.
knocked over.
And even if a wave boards you over the stern, it floods the cockpit and runs away.
Yeah.
You know, it's sort of, but if it hits you on the side, well, you can get rolled.
And we gotta show them your massive cockpit.
Yeah, the cockpit running. So yeah, so
we can get that later. Let's do the front. What else you got front here? Oh, you got 4 whisker poles, right?
Yeah, so I've got 2 big spinnaker poles here and on the other side, and 2 spot poles for the staysail.
Okay.
They're shorter ones, but you can see they're pretty hefty poles.
Yeah.
For a little staysail.
It's like a 3-inch pole.
All you know, pretty heavily engineered.
And you hook them up to a track there on your. Do you leave them on the mast sometimes, or do you take them on and off every time you want to?
On and off every time.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, no. I guess the issue is if you lose your mast, you need the poles for a jury rig.
Right. Okay.
And if they're on the mast,
then you might lose
not
those
be a
too.
good spot for them.
Good point. Yeah.
You know, people have lost their masts and lost everything.
Uh-huh.
Whereas these are, in fact, it's a rule that on the Golden Globe race following the 2018 race, for the subsequent race, your poles had to be secured on the deck.
Okay.
So these are clipped onto the.
Yeah. What are you using just to go onto your stanchions?
The stanchion base there.
Yeah.
And it's lashed at the other end. And these ones I've put eye bolts in here, and it's lashed at the other end. So they're attached to the boat.
Okay.
Yeah. So the day you lose everything, you've still got them. Hopefully.
That's smart. It's gonna be a stuff.
So all the lines are led back.
All right. Okay.
The boat's been.
So you got all your reefing and stuff is done in the back there.
I can do 3 reefs in the cockpit without coming to the mast.
Wow. Okay.
And so I can reef both headsails, reef the main.
Do you have a line for the back and front reef point, or is it like single line?
No, for the back and the front.
Okay.
So these black and white ones here, basically go up through here and back down, and they're just
and they attach.
Here.
Gotcha.
And then the ones in the mast, these guys here, so that's the outhaul, first reef, second reef, third reef.
Okay.
So they go through there and back, and they're sort of double clutched, so they're clutched in the in the companionway, but they're also clutched here.
Oh, okay.
So I can throw these clutches and manage it back there.
Right.
Or the only problem with that is if you're clutching it back there, you're putting the load through your gooseneck.
Oh, gotcha.
Whereas if you can clutch it there, it means that the load's taken here.
Okay.
And you're not loading up the gooseneck. So for to tidy it up, it's better to have.
You can come up here and tighten that up. Yeah.
But I don't have to. I
Right.
don't have to.
It's an option.
I can put 3 reefs in and pull 3 reefs out from the companionway.
Okay.
So and really going forward at night, offshore in heavy weather, that's where the risk is.
Right.
So I remove that. So everything comes back. There's the vang and
you have one of these
boom brake.
boom brakes, right? Okay.
And similarly, that goes back, runs through a block, goes aft, and goes into a jammer.
Okay.
So basically, what that means, it doesn't stop your jibing, but it means you jibe elegantly without it going bang.
Yeah.
I tend to find it really
It's a good thing to get. Yeah, I've been thinking about adding one of those to my boat.
Yeah, and you can see it's nice fitting here. That just sits there.
Have you used different styles of one? Is this the one you prefer?
I got this quite a few years ago for the 2018 race, and I think it was mandated that you had to get a certain type.
Okay.
But the Fleming basically matched that.
That was the one.
So
Okay.
it was sort of mandatory to have something like that or close.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if they've changed the rules since,
Mm.
but I tend to find it's fine.
Yeah.
If anything, you need to ease it off to jibe, because if once you've pulled it in and the boom's out here,
Yeah.
you can sail the jibe and the boom will just stay out
It doesn't
here.
want to. Yeah.
So then, because there's a fair bit of friction on here, and I can actually take the line that goes through a thing through a turn block. I can put it on a winch if I want to. So I can have that cranked right in.
Do you ever use a preventer also, or just
No,
this? Okay.
No. Although in the 20, we raced in the Ocean Globe race as well on a Swan 57, and on that we had a line from the end of the boom, and they came forward here, and we had lines that came here.
Yeah.
And we'd attach them.
That's kind of what I have. I've got a line on the
Right.
2 lines on my boom, and then I
Yeah.
connect to a forward line.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a hassle to walk forward and deal with
That's
that.
right.
If
So I
this
don't
works
have to
is
walk
good.
forward. The benefit of your arrangement is you're taking the weight at the back
Right.
of the boom, so you're not going to snap your boom.
Yeah.
You've got to go forward, and it's a bit fiddly, especially if you've got running backstays. So you've got running backstays, and you've got to do that.
Yeah.
It's a bit of muck, it makes jibing a big issue. Whereas with this,
And then if it does, like you said, like it won't prevent it, right? So it will come across. Because what mine does when the wind gets behind it, it's
up
all.
against
It's
the
like
line.
it looks like it's gonna break something. Like,
That's right.
and I got to get out there real quick. And I have it on. It's probably bad because I have it on a clutch. And getting that clutch open is hard at that point. I'd have to like get a
winch
yeah.
and then you've got it loaded up.
And then it just like, I don't have anything to really slow it down.
You've got to jibe back.
But sometimes it won't jibe back unless I can put the motor on. I had to do that on my crossing once.
No, this one here generally it can load up the clutch, but basically it's all the friction on here, and I can generally take the clutch off easily, and then it's a matter of releasing it slowly.
Right.
So you don't want it to.
Yeah, you don't want
suddenly
it to
the slack
swing.
goes, and then it will go across. But it's that just takes the friction just takes away.
Great, yeah.
So, yeah, I like it.
Oh, how about your mods to your mast? I thought that was cool.
Right. Okay. So here, what we did was we were previously a single spreader. And a guy called Ken Banwell came out of retirement and helped me work on the mast. And so he found an old mast, and we cut sections out of it here, and it goes up to the first spreader. So we've got 2 mast thicknesses here, from there up to the
it's like riveted on there.
Yeah. And because we basically did all the calcs, and basically this panel here, this bottom third, took the highest loads.
Okay.
And the way he calculated it, this had a factor of 1.5, and then the next one had 2.5, and the next one had 4.5. So he thought this was a little under-engineered. By putting this on here, then this boosted it up to about 3. So it's about 3 times what it needed to be. And we've also got this track here, which stiffens it up.
Oh, sure.
And I've got also a track for the Storm tristle.
Right,
on the other
right.
side.
Okay.
That's permanently down. I can have the Storm tristle with all the cars in the track, and it's in a bag here.
Okay.
So it's sort of ready to hoist, and I can have a sheet on it and everything. So I just unzip the bag and I can hoist it on the second main halyard.
So you have 3 reefs in your main and also a Storm
tristle,
and that would be even smaller than your 3rd reef, or about the same? Or?
Oh no, it's a lot smaller.
A lot smaller.
It'd be
Okay.
like a 5th reef.
Okay.
And so it stays down quite low, and you either sheet it to the quarter or on the boom. Frankly,
do you have a preference?
I like it on the boom, because then you keep all the control of the boom. I've got so much control over this boom. I've got 2 main sheets, and I've got the preventer and all this sort of stuff, and it just goes there, and it means I have all that. Otherwise, I'm then sort of jiving it over the boom, and so you're
right, yeah, and your lazy jacks are in the way kind of too.
So you're sort of getting the lazy jacks out of the way anyway, so they just loosen off here.
Okay.
So I do have to come forward.
You
to
gotta go
loosen off the lazy jacks.
Okay.
And then this bag here, this is designed to catch water. So I just get water off the sail.
Is your main fully battened or partially?
It's got 2. This one, so I've got a winter main and a summer main. I don't really change them over; it's too much of a hassle. So this is the winter main, and I think this is 26 square meters, and the summer one's 8 square metres. So
Oh, okay.
they're very similar. But this one's fully battened. I think it's got 2 full battens and then 2 like 3/4.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Whereas the summer one's less
Right.
fully battened. So this is a really good solid sail.
Yeah, yeah.
Beautiful.
And are they on, what kind of cars do you have right there?
Goes into there. These little wheels.
Right on.
Yeah. So they're good, nice and solid. And we've got the mast rungs as well.
Oh, yeah, the steps, yeah. Do they get, does the string keep the lines off, or do they still catch the little fishing wire or whatever you have?
It's just a bit of wire.
Yeah.
Look, occasionally you might get up above the top spreader. It hooks.
You got a spot up there.
And
Yeah.
basically you grab it and give it a shake.
Did you have to climb up the mast any in the
I've been up there
mid-ocean?
a couple of times, and at sea it's not nice.
No.
Even with these.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I
You climb a step and then you hug the mast and then you're doing it.
Yeah, I had problems with my my forestay, and I blew out the head sail and it wouldn't come down, and basically so I'm up there and I'm swinging out to the thingo and I'm trying to lash myself around the forestay, and you get beaten up. It's not fun.
Gnarly.
That's all that lot here.
Yeah, go back to see the.
Put on this doghouse.
Yeah.
A more solid.
I think it's solid.
And which is nice. Yep, come on board. And then basically for at sea, this is the business end here, and I can basically sit here, and basically I've got what 3, 4, 7 clutches there, and 3, 4, 5, 7 clutches there. So you can see everything comes back in his clutch on these 2 winches.
You just kind of do most everything from
And
right
they just live in these sailbags here. Oh, I got the kettle on. It's time for a brew. So this is a little metho stove.
Okay.
Which is really good.
Yeah, yeah. You got the gimbal.
Turn that off. I lost my kettle, so I've got one of these, which is fantastic. So it keeps your tea hot for about 12 hours.
Oh, smart.
So,
yeah, so then you don't have to heat that up every time.
No.
Alright.
Okay, done.
Alright.
What this is my washing up.
Yeah.
I do all my washing up on the upper deck. That's for washing, and that's for where they go when they're dry.
Ah, yeah.
And it works really well. And I just use seawater.
Okay.
In the marina, I don't use that.
Yeah, do you have you don't have a sink?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
But this is much more practical.
Yeah, yeah.
And it means I can just toss the dirty things in there. And
yeah. You can do it outside,
and sometimes they don't even get put away. So this is the main rudder, and the main tiller on the main rudder, which is on the back of the kit.
Was it designed like that when you got the boat, or has this been kind of beefed up?
This is a bit agricultural.
Yeah.
And I've also got. I can pull this off here, take that off, and I've got a fitting that'll fit straight on here. So
oh, okay.
There's a little piece on here, and it comes up here. But that tends to cut the cockpit more than this.
Okay.
Because this is higher up and the cockpit's still usable.
Yeah.
So that's the main rudder. This is extendable.
Oh, smart. Yeah.
And it comes
so you can
out,
be in your
so
little.
I can get rid of it if I wanted.
Yeah.
And so for coming in and out of harbour, it's good because I can basically extend it and just have it between my legs here. But at sea, I'll lock this off like that. There we go. So that's locked like that. And this is my emergency rudder over the transom and emergency tiller. And I've set up the self-steerer at the moment, the Aries wind vane, to run off this.
Ah, yeah.
Just chuck that in there. And then this is locked. This then is steering the boat on the Aries. And when I want to change course, I can just do it from back here by pulling the lines, and that changes the angle. So it's fantastic. So once again, I don't have to leave here to reef, tack, jibe, reef the headsail, change course, you name it.
That's awesome setup, yeah.
I can lean out, and even the running backstays they're here, and they're pulled forward with a running line here that I can release. So then I can just pull them in. So the runners are all, I don't even have to go forward to release the running.
You can do that all back here. Okay, wow.
All back here. It just does mean you've got some lines, and so I've got plenty of bags and whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've got 2 main sheets here, so I don't have a traveller.
Right.
And this gives you a lot of control of the main. You don't have a traveller across here, but you do have a lot of line because you've got 2 sheets. And also it's sheeted to the end of the boom, but that's also good because you don't break your boom. It's
right
at the end, so it's a very safe way of doing it. And it's just on that little webbing there, which is pretty neat. Of course, the old
and you said this rudder you had built balanced, right? Or partially balanced?
Yeah, it's partially balanced.
So then it's less load for the wind vane.
It's less load, and it's further aft. It's on the transom, and the transom's nice and solid, so it's not going to rip the transom off. So this is really heavy, but this is quite light. Yeah. And you can just see it's just.
Yeah, so cool. You have 2 rudders just ready to go.
Operates inside the vane.
Did you? I guess you had to reinforce the transom a little bit, or
no?
Just kind of go right on there.
That's really strong. Really? I mean, these old boats. Yeah. You know, like new boats, the transoms are really flexible. So the core on this is like an inch thick, and even on the transom, it's still really thick. I can't remember what.
And you have these massive. Ballers or whatever you call them.
Yeah, so I've got those there on those plates.
Drogan.
It takes the load of the running backstays. I can tow a drogue from there. There's not much load on it, but they're just real. If you had to tow anything or whatever. And you can see the fair leads also are nice and strong. So it's And then the little fittings out on the quarter for the walker trailing log. So that spins.
Oh yeah, because you had to use old school stuff for your navigation, right?
Whenever I take a fix, I just take a log reading, and then I've got the distance run between the position lines,
right?
So I can run one position line onto the other. So you take it once a day at Meridian Passage, but every time I take a fix, you can take them hourly if you like, but at least every fix is.
That's good enough. Yeah. Oh, and your massive cockpit drain.
Oh, there's my drain.
How long does this take to drain the whole cockpit? I think.
So there's a little cover that goes on it, but that's really good. And so I've had the cockpit full of water, and it drains in about 15 seconds.
Fantastic.
So it's really good. Just don't lose stuff down there. So I've got this little agricultural thing, and this is a bilge pump outlet. So I've got a bilge pump in there. It's a double bilge pump. Take that off. And
it just goes into the cockpit.
Rather than put it in the cockpit, I can put this wandering lead over the side.
Yeah, brilliant.
And all the other bilge pumps used to drain into here. They don't. They all drain now on out.
Oh, okay, out there.
All right, we need to go in.
Yep.
So the first thing to notice down here is my dunny door.
That thing is awesome.
And here it is. So this is my watertight door. And basically, when shit hits the fan, that sort of divides the boat in two, and it keeps me safe. So best dunny door in the fleet.
Did any other boats have anything similar to no, that thing is next level?
A few had like a door you could dog to come in through the cockpit,
right,
in the companionway. But the problem with that is you're in or you're out.
Yeah.
You tend to need to be in and out.
Right.
So that's all or nothing.
Yeah. So you have just a more traditional kind of companionway, but if it folds up, kind of neat.
So that there, I can just show you from here. It's all just hinged, so that just locks in like that, and then that just locks in like that, and then this can lock in that position or that position from up the top or down
you can
below.
lock it halfway too. Okay.
Yeah, so if you in the weather's really hard, there you go. You should put that in there, and it just minimises the risk. That's and then I can zip the cover down at the top. And then it all collapses down and you sit on it And I've got a cushion, but I lost it overboard, sadly.
Or-
So it sits down there and you can sit on that.
Cool.
I've got the batteries nice and high out of the water.
Ah,
So
smart, yeah.
If the boat floods, I don't lose my batteries. The cost is you've got some weight up high,
Sure.
but at least
you have batteries
and
still.
they're strapped in nicely.
Yeah.
And they're braced here,
Gotcha.
so they ain't going anywhere. That's just a little inverter I've just got sitting there.
Right on.
And my
What is this? This is part of your...
Oh, that is just there's a metal bar here and there's a metal bar there, and these props here. So it's just all designed to tension it up so that when I roll, should I roll,
right.
they don't go anywhere because these are missiles.
Yeah.
And they're very heavy. So they're held with straps, and we thought that wasn't enough, so we built these, and we put the metal bar there, and then I wanted to brace it, so I got another metal bar there, and these just all, strap the two together, really.
Yeah. And everything is just like, you can have it set up so if you did roll, the boat wouldn't, like you got your books all kind of...
So that's right. So
closed off there.
Here. So this is my library here.
Yeah.
So I can basically open this up here, and it lets a bit of air in. And I've got all my nautical almanac and pilots, and then novels and things here. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. There we go.
Yeah, gotta have that one.
Sailing Alone Around the World. All the normal stuff. This is a good one. This is the Danger Angle by Captain Lecky, and it's where you put in your sextant angle on the height of mountains, and you can get a range.
Oh.
And so it does the trigonometry and also the corrections for dip and whatever.
Yeah.
But it's very, very funny. Captain Lecky also wrote the Wrinkles in Practical Navigation. But I like his humour. To those amongst the toilers of the sea, whom upon devolves the safety of life and property afloat, these tables are dedicated. And then it goes, introduction, intended to be read, not skipped. And then it's got here, so you go through the introduction. Explanatory, intended to be read, remembered, and acted upon. But the Captain Lecky, and this is from 1890 or something.
Wow, okay. And for people who don't know, the Golden Globe is like a retro race, so you have to use celestial navigation. And
so here's
nothing newer than
my sextant, and so there's the old sextant, and
what's it like trying to get a reading when you're in those rolly seas down in the
well, it's all technique. It's 100% technique, and they say that your second 1,000 sights are better than your first 1,000 sights.
Yeah.
So it's all like that. And the technique I use is I don't try and put I do sun sights almost exclusively. I'll do the moon sometimes, and maybe Venus or Jupiter or something.
Sure.
Star sights at sea on a small boat and whatever. Really, I think the sun's is a lot more reliable and practical.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So I do exclusively suns almost, and what I do is if the sun is setting, I'll work out the approximate thing, 15, 30, 45, and get the approximate angle, set it on here, then go and find the sun, bring it sort of right to the horizon, and then set it just above the horizon, and then just swing the sextant and watch it above the horizon. And sometimes you don't see the horizon because of the swell and whatever. You might only see the horizon, 5 or 10% of the time. But it doesn't matter. On those glimpses, I'm seeing it. I'm getting an idea of its rate of descent. And basically, I'm watching it, and I'm trying to pick the time that it descends and hits the horizon. So rather than get an instantaneous observation, I'm looking until it gets to what I've got set.
Right.
I think that's a far more accurate way, particularly if you've only got intermittent views of the horizon and you're trying to snap it. So sometimes I might call it, I go, there, it's almost there, oh, I can't see it now. Because I know I've seen it descend on, it's just about, and then what you can do is take the time and then have a look again and I want to see it, and I want to see it have descended through.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I've got checks before, I've got checks after. So people go, oh, I do multiple sites and average them. Bullshit. Just do one good site.
Right. Yeah.
And it's far better. And I think it's better to not snap it. If you've got a perfect day and you can see the horizon, it's not a problem. Just go and do it. But if the horizon is intermittent, it's far better to have the sun descending or ascending, and what you're trying to do is pick the time it's crossing. And basically,
were there days where you just couldn't get a sight at all, like with too cloudy, or is that?
Well,
what do you do in that case?
To be honest, astronavigation is all about perseverance.
Yeah.
And there are so many times when, oh, it's cloudy at Meridian Passage. It's cloudy at Meridian Passage. You go up there 10 minutes before and you wait and you wait and you wait and you just get it. So often you just get it. And if you don't get it, maybe just a little bit after. So I tend to find you've just got to, so quite often the mornings might be difficult to get a sight. Sometimes the first sight you might get might be Meridian Passage. Look, I have gone 2 or 3 days without a sight in the Southern Ocean, but that's very, very rare. On most occasions you can get it, it's just a matter of perseverance.
Okay.
And just sit up there and whatever, and all of a sudden there it will be. And so you've got to be there and you've got to be prepared. If you're sitting up there and the sextant's down here, that's no good.
Right.
And the other thing is always keep the sextant in the box.
Right. Okay.
Or in your hand.
Never
leave it like that. Never do
Don't
this.
do that.
Don't say you saw that on Coconut. Can you edit that bit out?
Of course.
And then here, once again, stuff and storage under there.
Brilliant.
And then up forward,
Yeah, what's behind the
you can go up there and have a look.
door?
You can see, if you want to squeeze by, there's the dunny.
Yep.
Comfortable dunny in the fleet, and certainly private with the door closed. And there, once again, storage behind those nettings, and that keeps everything in its place. The engine's all hidden amongst all this stuff, so that unlocks. Comes out here. Beautiful access.
Yeah.
So my seacock's down there. There's my cooling. That's just the coolant for the freshwater side.
Yeah.
Dipsticks there, and it's all there.
Looks
Now,
brand new.
recently this bearer collapsed, and so when I was in Beckway, we pulled the engine out. We took this thing out here, pulled the engine out and put it between the bunks, and rebuilt both bearers and reinstalled it all. And now it's beautiful, solid as a rock.
Yeah.
But the old engine used to mount on here,
Right.
and the new mounts are here, and that created a bit of torque from there.
Yeah.
And it basically, this mount collapsed and fell down. And what we've done is we've ground the hull back and put new knees in, so that this is actually supported up under there. And the whole thing was rebuilt, reglassed, epoxied, micro balloons, the whole lot. And now it's beautiful.
Yeah, that's a good install.
Yeah, so that's got 80 hours on it. So it's a 50-year-old boat. But it's going to be an 80-year-old boat when I've finished with it, because I've got that engine. You know, by the time that wears out, diesel engines will be a thing of the past, if they're not already.
Yeah. I think
But
it's good to have a good motor.
I don't use it a lot. It's really for getting in and out of harbour.
Sure.
And if I'm in a lot of moorings and whatever, even if I'm sailing off, I'll just have it ticking over to get me out of trouble, because particularly when I'm short-handed.
Right.
You know, it's just a safety.
You have to have that running.
So these little things up here.
Oh yeah.
It's a YB3, a yellow brick. So that's a tracking and texting device. There's one there, and there's a YB3i up top.
Oh, can you show us your track on your phone?
Yeah, I'll just get rid of all this, and then I'll... Yeah, never a truer. There we go. So we are here now in St. Lucia, and you can see my previous track coming from Europe, basically around the bottom of South Africa, up into Adelaide. So I had one stop. So it was 157 days to Adelaide, and then around the Horn. There you go, through the Lemaire Strait.
Wow. Okay.
And you can see here, so the speed there, this is under bare poles.
Wow.
5.8 knots, 082, 5.8 knots.
Under bare poles.
Yeah, so that was in a very breezy day. And then that was, but you know, that shot that I showed you coming out of Lemaire Strait, that was taken just in this area here.
Oh, right, yeah. I'll include that if that's okay with you.
Yeah, sure. And then if we go back, we can go back up to here now. You can see. So what it, where are we? Oh, so I've lost it here. Yep. So I did the 2018 Golden Globe race. The 2022 Golden Globe race I stopped because my son got married. So then I sailed over to Grenada, left the boat in Trinidad, and I did the 2023 Ocean Globe race in a Swan 57. And then we just came back and picked the boat up in Trinidad, and we've just been coming up through the Caribbean. And so this is a YB3 tracker, and it's on hourly updates. So if you come zoom into here, you'll actually see there.
Oh yeah, you see your boat
in the marina. There we are, bang,
right here,
right in the marina. So that transmits hourly.
Uh-huh.
The Coconut 2's hourly. That one's 12 hourly. So that one's supposed to be in the grab bag for the life raft.
Oh, okay.
I just got it there.
Yeah.
And the one up top's hourly, so anyone can see those on the
super
on the net.
Yeah. And you say the battery lasts like 6 months or something.
Yeah. So the one up top, the one with 3i, is on ship's power.
Yeah.
Those ones, yeah, they're just rechargeable with a USB. And they're really good devices. I'll just show you that. Because they're waterproof and they're also texting devices.
Yeah. Okay.
So there it is, and it will give me the so at 1300 UTC free text. Okay, and then you just use this little thing, and you can bash out a message of 140 characters.
Right.
You can even send an email.
And that's using the Iridium satellite connection.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it's waterproof, and it's really robust. And then there's the charging thing there.
Cool. It's even
here. So that's there.
USB in there.
Pretty good.
Very nice.
So the Golden Globe race, you required a YB3i and a YB3. So the YB3i is your main thing. This is your backup device, and then a backup actually in your grab bag.
Smart. Yeah.
So it is because for the no technology, there was no digital. No batteries, but digital clocks or whatever. So that's
really?
A wind-up clock.
You had to use a.
There's a key. So that's a US Navy 1946 engine room clock. Runs for 8 days.
Okay. But you can set it get the radio signal to set it with. Is that how you keep it in?
I use HF.
Okay.
And then get the time signal on 10, 15, and 20 megahertz. Cool. But yeah, simple little wind-up clock, keeps really good time.
Really? Okay.
Just a few seconds a day. And I also had a little clock as well. What was it? Oh, it's a Waltham, and that was 1904, I think. But anyway, that's become unreliable since I've left that at home, and now I'm not in the GGR. I've actually got a Seiko digital watch, so
oh my gosh,
I'm cheating.
Oh my gosh, we got a cheater out here.
So so I do have some concessions to modern technology.
Right.
I've also got a cassette player back there with a load of cassettes.
Yeah. What would you do in the past? Did you listen to?
I'll show you. Actually, I didn't show you this either. These are really good. Have you seen these things?
What is that? I don't think
that is a Wonder Bag.
Okay.
So if you cook rice for 5 minutes, you shove the pot in here, put the lid on, and leave it for 2 hours, and it just cooks in its own heat.
Oh, okay.
So
it's like super insulated kind of.
Yeah, it's just so you can pre-cook things, and it just sits in there in its heat.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's a South African thing, and your pan sits in there, and that sits on the top. They're fantastic. They're really good for boats, for saving power.
Yeah. Save your gas.
So when we're in South Africa, we came across those, and that was really good. And then my cassettes, So, whoops, the echo sound has fallen off its mount.
Oh wow.
So, there's my cassette player.
Uh-huh.
And there we go, Mike McClellan. Men at Work, Business as Usual, Supertramp. And all that lot. And there's a spare cassette player.
Yeah,
so
you gotta have a spare.
You gotta have a spare.
Can you imagine if you lost your only cassette player?
And then here.
Oh, even more.
Oliver Twist.
Yeah.
The 39 Steps. All talking books. Sherlock Holmes. Here we go. But anyway, Riddle of the Sands. Very good book.
Oh yeah.
Very good.
A lot of people have recommended that. I've started it. I need to finish it.
Yeah. I love it. It's my favourite book. But you can get all this stuff on Spotify now, so it spoils it a little bit. But anyway, this is the old technology. If you're that way inclined.
Oh, what did you eat on your passage? Were you like dehydrated food or cans and stuff? What?
Dehydrated food, sterilised food, which is just stuff in bags, pre-cooked, tins. That's about it.
How much space did the food take? Was it like hard to fit it all on the boat, or?
Well, under those, so there's four things there, and that's sort of like to the side of the boat and down. That was solid cans.
Okay.
And the reason, and so that was solid cans, which counterweights the battery. So now that I'm not in GGR mode, I generally carry a bit of a list.
Oh, you are
kind of chain over on the rail
side
there, and I've got some water on the rail to bring me back up, because this is designed for 300 days food. But also all these blue containers and whatever, you'll see right up forward. It's just full of.
That's all your containers.
So they're full of dehydrated food and other food and whatever.
Yeah, you get a bunch of room up there.
Yeah, it's and I also had containers stacked on the floor. Containers stacked through here and containers stacked through here.
Wow.
So it was, and they're all strapped down with ratchet straps and stuff like that. So
Oh, then how much water? Did you have to catch rainwater?
Yeah. So this has got on the first race I had 330 litres, wasn't enough. I'm now carrying about 430 litres. And you catch rainwater to supplement that. But the reason I retired on the first, I stopped in Adelaide after 157 days, was I ran out of water. And also had barnacles on the hull. And I think you saw some.
Yeah, I saw the picture. Maybe I can put that in there.
I'm not going to drag those around the world.
Has the copper coat kept them off any better? Or I guess you haven't.
Copper coat's good. I think though, it's not set and forget. It needs to be scoured occasionally to activate it. And I don't know, the gooseneck barnacles are a terrible thing, and I think they need to be wiped off when they're juvenile. And in fact, I was diving on the boat just the other day, and guess what? Started to see a little barnacles and whatever, and one of them had a gooseneck.
Oh, no.
I was abrading them off with my snorkel gear. So I think copper coat's good, but it needs regular wipe downs.
Still needs to be cleaned.
And then it's good. The other thing is it's epoxy, so it's giving you another barrier.
Double barrier coats, right?
For the hull, so it's good in that regard. But I think, like all things, no, you can't paint it and ignore it for 10 years. No, so that marketing, if it's marketed that way, that's not correct. But I think it does last a long time, but it needs to be maintained. But application's really important too. I understand that you've got to do the wet on wet and get it all right and whatever. So it's so look, I'm quite happy with it, and we'll see how it goes. But it's got to be maintained.
Right. Yeah. Cool. Well, massive thanks to Mark Sinclair for showing us around his boat. I think that could be really valuable information for anybody preparing a small boat to go into the Southern Ocean or a solo nonstop circumnavigation. Some great ideas there. He's going to be following the mini globe boats around the world. So he has a Facebook page, Captain Coconut. I'll have a link in the description if you want to check that out and follow him. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video, sailing to Martinique.